Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let us learn another interesting topic, or else you can say another interesting service in AWS. Let's say I have some web servers. This is one web server, and like this, let's say I have multiple web servers, and so on. I just put this is a web server. I have multiple web servers here, let's say. Okay. Now, who distributes the traffic to these web servers? Who distributes the traffic to these web servers? Load balancer, right? Okay. What is this load balancer we call in AWS? We call this load balancer in AWS as what? ELB. We call this as ELB. This is already we have learned in previous videos. Now, let's say I've created this load balancer also. Okay. Now, my user Now, how my user reaches to this elastic load balancer? Let's say I have a user who is present here and he opened his system. He opened his system. Let's say my website name is BTech Spark. Let's say my website name is BTech Spark. Now he typed what? btechspark.com. btechspark.com. Now he typed this and he requested in Google. Now the question is, how does this user reaches this elastic load balancer? Now, what does this elastic load balancer will provide, sir? This elastic load balancer will provide us a DNS which will be like I'll write it here. How the elastic load balancer providing DNS will look like is, it will be like my load balancer. What are the load balancer? That name as well as some number, like this some number is there, and from which region, for which region you created, that region will be present. Let's say I created for AP region, AP South region in 1A availability zone, then let's say it will be 1. And since it is an elastic load balancer, the URL will be, the DNS will be ends with elb dot amazon aws.com. This is how my elastic load balancer DNS look like whenever I created an elastic load balancer in AWS cloud. So let's say I created this ELB also. Now my user reaches this ELB by using a URL. By using what URL users are reaching my BTech Spark website, that is btechspark.com, right? Yeah. But what this ELB is providing me, this ELB is providing me the DNS. How the DNS will be look like? It will be like this. Now users are searching for BTech Spark, that is my website URL. But users request need to reach to where this ELB providing DNS URL. Then only they can reach my web servers, right? Yeah. Now the question is, to make my request, to make the user's request to convert to ELB's DNS URL, to convert this user providing request to this ELB DNS URL, I need a service in between, right? Yes, I need a service in between. Let's put some for a bit. Let's put question mark for it. I need a service. I need a service in between them, so that that will convert my, yeah, I need a service in between where it can remember both my website URL as well as elastic load balancer DNS URL, right? Yes, then only it can able to convert this to this, right? Yes. Is there any service provided by AWS to manage my DNS service? Since this concept all comes under DNS, domain name servers. So is there any service which is provided by AWS where it can remember both my domain name as well as my elastic load balancer URL, and what it needs to do is it just need to convert whatever the request user request, whenever my user requests for my domain name, then my request must reach to where my ELB DNS URL. So my service will convert the user requested website URL to this elastic load balancer URL. So such type of service is there. Is there any such type of service which is present in AWS to provide the service? Yes, there is a service. What do we call that service, sir? We call we call that service as Route 53. What is the service? That service is Route 53. Route 53. So now let me ask you a question. Does this Route 53 need to maintain both website URLs as well as my elastic load balancer DNS URLs? Does it need to require? Does it need to store and maintain those two? Yes. Whenever, if it maintains, then only it can able to route the traffic from this request to this URL, right? That means this Route 53 must need to maintain the records. So this Route 53 must need to maintain the records of website URL, as well as it must need to maintain domain name as well as what, my elastic load balancer URL, that is URL. So this Route 53 must need to maintain records of my domain names as well as my website URL. Same like our phone book. Whenever we want to call to some person, then we can open the phone book and we can call to certain name, then it will go to the person's phone number and the call will be gone for that phone number. In the same way, whenever I requested for btechspark.com, in that moment of time, the request will first go to Route 53, and then this Route 53 will checks the URL for the particular domain name which I have requested, and then that URL must be provided by this Route 53 to the server, and then the request will be forwarded to that particular URL. So this Route 53 will need to act like same as my phone book. So it must need to maintain these two. So can I say, does this Route 53 provides me the fancy URLs for me instead of this nasty URLs? This looks like nasty, right? Yeah, it's not good. So can I call this as nasty URL? So, but what I require? I require btechspark.com. It is fancy URL for my website. So can I call this Route 53 is providing me the fancy URLs? Yes. So can I purchase the fancy URLs from this Route 53? Yeah. You can able to purchase the URLs from Route 53. You can able to purchase the URLs from Route 53. So you can able to purchase fancy URLs. Fancy URLs. Or else you can say domain names. Even we can say it as domain names. From where? From Route 53. From Route 53. So this Route 53 routes, this Route 53 will maintain my records of my both domain name as well as URL, and then it routes my traffic from whenever users requested for my domain name, that to my URL, website URL. It just routes the traffic from the domain name to URL, and it even provides me the fancy URLs for my domain names. Whatever the domain name I request for that domain name, this Route 53 is providing me fancy URLs. Okay. Now, why AWS put name of this DNS managing service as Route 53? Why not Route 63 like that? Because 53 is 53 is DNS port number. What is 53? 53 is a DNS port number. That's why AWS put the service name as Route 53, not other than any number than 53. So, since the service is providing and managing, this providing us the domain names, right? So, can I call the service is providing me the URLs? Yeah. And it also manages the request coming to the domain name and just converts it into URLs. So, can I say it is managing my domain names? Yes. Domain names and URLs? Yeah. So since the service is providing and managing the domain names and DNS URLs, AWS put the service name as Route 53. Okay. Does this Route 53 maintain records? Yeah. It must need to maintain records of my domain name as well as URL. Then only it can map my domain names, what are the user requesting domain names, to URLs. Then only the request will reach to the web server, and then from there it reaches back to it provides the response, and then it again move back in the same path to users. So now let's have a bit small questions. What is a service in AWS which is used to map the user providing domain names to URLs, that is the website URLs? Elastic Load Balancer providing DNS URLs. What is that service? That is Route 53. So, what is DNS providing service in AWS? Route 53. What is 53 in Route 53? That is nothing but DNS port number. 53 is nothing but DNS port number. So I hope you understood this video. In between user and elastic load balancer, who is present? Route 53. So first the request will reach to where? Route 53. Then the request will be sent to where? Elastic load balancer. From there the request will be sent to web servers, and in the same way web servers will provide me the response in the same path. The response will move back to the users. Okay, let's have a question, that is, this elastic load balancer is regional, right? Yes, this elastic load balancer is regional. Let's say the top, this elastic load balancer is present in Mumbai region, and the another elastic load balancer, let's say here another elastic load balancer is present, where it is present in, this elastic load balancer is present in where USA region, and there also I hosted my web servers. Let's say I have a lot of traffic from USA as well. So I have provided my elastic load balancer and my servers at USA as well. So for providing high availability, I provided my web servers as well as I provided my web servers as well as my elastic load balancer in USA region as well. So now the question is, who is the person? Who is the person which take the request from the users at first, at where my request will reach at first? This will be present in USA region, let's say. Now this ELB is present in Mumbai region. Okay. Now the question is, if let's say my user is present in India and he requested, then to where my request will go and send at first? To the Route 53 service, to the Route 53 service. Then the Route 53 will distribute the traffic among different regions elastic load balancers. What does this Route 53 will do? It just distributes the traffic among regions availability elastic load balancers. It distributes the Route 53. What does it do? Route 53 also distributes the traffic among elastic load balancer. Elastic load balancers which are present in where different regions. After that, the request will be routed to where web servers, and then again the response will get back and reaches to the users. So for high availability, let's say if I am having users at USA region as well, then I provided my web servers there as well. For better business, I provided there as well. So here this Route 53 will provided me the another service. What is that service? That service is this Route 53 also this Route 53, whatever the service we have, routes the traffic between routes the traffic between different, this Route 53 will routes the traffic between different elastic load balancers based on region. So based on the region, this Route 53 will distribute the traffic among elastic load balancers in different regions. So who is the global level distributor of traffic? Who is the global level distributor of traffic for the user's request? Whenever if a user requests, then Route 53 is the global level traffic distributor who distributes traffic to where? Elastic load balancer. And in regional level, who is the person distributes the traffic to my web servers? Elastic load balancer will distribute the traffic among my web servers. So This is one of the interview question and most of the users don't even aware of it. Route 53 is a service where it routes, or you can say it distributes. It distributes the traffic among distributes the traffic among elastic load balancers present in different regions. Present in different regions. So I hope you got an idea of this Route 53 service from this video, and when do you use this Route 53 and what are the tasks that this Route 53 can able to do. I hope you got an idea about this service. Here you are having your users from Mumbai region as well as USA region only. But let's say I have my users present in worldwide. During that case, what is the service do I need to use in AWS to provide my web servers in whole world? That means in the regions from where my users are requesting. For that, there is a service that I'm gonna introduce you in future, that we're gonna discuss for high availability, for providing high availability of my servers in all over the world, or else from the regions where my users are requesting. For that, we're gonna use a service called CloudFront, that we're gonna introduce you in future videos for high availability. So till now, I hope you understood who is the person that manages the domain names DNS service in AWS, and who is the person which distributes the traffic globally between elastic load balancers. Also you understood. So this is all about Route 53 service. So I hope you understood this video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. See you back in the next video. Until then, bye bye. Thanks for watching again.